5, 6, 7. That won't work. And then 2. Let's just do this. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which we can do, but you know, we may as well not do it. Oh, we don't have the mana actually. Anyways, this works, and you know, that's just gonna mill them down to 0. And good game. And we still. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. My desktop is alive. It's alive! Today we are playing the Deck Splitter, which is a Simic mill slash kicker deck revolving around Verazol, the split current, which allows us to basically copy any kicked spell. Very, very cool stuff here. And then, you know, we do have the classic mill within the deck, utilizing the Rune Crab to break our opponent's will. We have Roost of Drakes as our main engine in the deck, similar to our Grixis kicker build, which came out yesterday. If you've not seen it, you know, that's a little bit more of an aggro variant than the mill. You know, it still is a control deck, but, you know, there's a difference between control and mill, in my opinion here. We do use control to limp ourselves along to get the win through the mill. And something that we will utilize to do that is the Roost of Drakes. You know, filling up the field with 2/2 flyers is really good. And then, of course, we have Maddening Cacophony, which is, you know, one of our main mill engines in the deck. You get to mill 8 cards. We can double cast it with the Sea Gate. We can kick it and mill half their library. And again, we can copy any any kicked spells with the split current, which is really cool. Again, the Sea Gates can double the Cacophony, which is great. It can even triple it if you kick it. So there is no lack of mill within the deck. We do have control within Into the Roil for bouncing our opponent's creatures. You know, there's Brazen Borrower's Petty Theft to bounce your opponent's creatures. We have the Glasspool Mimic. Now, typically, this will just copy the Rune Crab for that expedited mill effect, but we can also copy the Stormcaller for its ETB effect if we want as well. We can copy Vine Gecko, which reduces the cost of all of our kick spells by 1. Plus, it gets a +1/+1 counter whenever we kick a spell. So, you know, reducing the cost of our kicked spells is really cool because a lot of the kicker costs are quite high. We've got Inscription of Abundance, you know, instant speed shenanigans, kicker triggers, just general fun there. And then one of our main engines, again, within the Chronicler. When it enters, we get to draw from the top 5 something with kicker. And then whenever we cast something with kick, you know, we get to draw again, which is really cool. So, you know, that's the general premises. We will break it down more in depth, but if you're not looking forward to that, the timestamps are in the description below. Just use those to jump to the gameplay. If you do find any value within the video, please give me a thumbs up. That's a great way to grow the channel. Share it out to your friends, and of course, tune in live for our daily gem giveaways on the YouTube Premiere process there. So, you know, we are live typically once a day, sometimes twice a day, and you'll have to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified of when we do go live so you don't miss out on all of that. All right, you guys, thanks again for your time and attention. Let's start our deep dive into the Simic Kicker / mill, which I've named the Deck Splitter, focusing around the split currents and our Maddening Cacophony. The idea is we're splitting our opponent's deck in half, right? Anyways, let's get into it card by card. Starting out with our 1-drops, we have the Roost of Drakes and enchantment. And, you know, whenever it is in play and then we kick a spell, if it's in play, we'll get to create a 2/2, which is great. The kicker for 3, you know, so a total of 4. And if we kick it, we get to create a 2/2. So, you know, typically kicking it for 3 is not great value. You know, a 2/2 for 3 is not good. But if that's, you know, the only thing you have to spend your mana on, go for it. And then, you know, it also will trigger some of your other stuff that utilize kicker spells, right? So the Roost of Drakes, not that bad. Pretty cool. And, you know, you can even double down with the split current, which is pretty cool. The Rune Crab, a 0/3 with landfall. We all know this. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, they mill 3 cards. So this basically just cleans up the scraps for us because we want to mill half of our opponent's deck as the very first objective of ours. So we get the most amounts out of our value, right? So if they've got 60, we mill half, that's 30. Obviously, if they're down to 30 and we mill half, that's only 15. So the milling of 15 is less valuable for 7 or something than the doubling of it for 16, which you can do with the Sea Gate. So, you know, the Rune Crab will just help you later on clean up the rest of the deck. Into the split current a 0/0 enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each mana spent to cast it. So, obviously you have to spend 2 mana as a base, plus everything you put in on top of it. So, if you cast it for 6, it's a 6/6, and then whenever you cast a kicked spell, you may remove 2 1/1 counters from Verazol. If you do copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. If it's a permanent, it becomes a token. So, the Roost of Drakes can become, a token copy of itself, which is pretty cool because lots of our spells have kicker, and we can just make a bunch of Drakes really easily. Moving on, we do have the Vine Gecko 2/2. Your first kick spell that you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast, and typically kicked spells are so expensive that we won't be casting more than 1 per turn. And whenever you cast a kick spell, put a +1/+1 counter on the Vine Gecko. Inscription of Abundance, kicker for 3, main cost 2, so total of 5. Choose 1. If it was kicked, choose any. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Target player gains X life, where X is the greatest power among creatures they control. And target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. And it's instant speed, which is the nice thing, right? So able to do a bit of everything here. 4 copies of the Sea Gate Stormcaller for 2, kicker for 6, for 5, total for 7. It's a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, copy the next instant or sorcery with 2 or less. If you kicked it, you get to copy it twice, obviously choosing new targets for the copy there. And again, it's very cheap. We can cast this for 2 and lay the Maddening Cacophony in over top of it for an additional 2. So to mill 16 cards for 4 mana is very, very good. Like I said, we do want to kick this, though, first, so we get the bulk of their deck dealt with out of the way. And then once we do mill half of their deck, then we just start up with the regular mill. So kicker for 4 + 2, total of 6. Each opponent mills 8 cards. If it was kicked, instead, they mill half of their library rounded up. Very, very good. And like I said, you want to kick it the first time, and then for the following times after that, you will just, cast it normally. And hopefully you can double down with the casting through the Sea Gate. 4 copies of Into the Roil, instant speed, kicker for 2, total of 4. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If it was kicked, draw a card. So, bouncing something back to their hand is great. Doing that and drawing a card is even better. So, utilizing, I guess you could call it a reverse tempo play there. Into our 3 drops now, the Coralhelm Chronicler, a 2/2, and whenever you cast a kicked spell, draw a card, then discard a card. In our Grixis variant, we did utilize the discard to redraw, which is pretty cool, but we don't have that here, so do keep in mind that you are cycling something back into the grave when you cast a kick spell for the draw. Whenever the Helm Chronicler enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of our library, revealing a card with kicker, and then putting that into our hand, and the rest go onto the bottom of our library in a random order. So, it's great because it replaces itself, and most of our deck does have kicker. There's very few times you'll ever whiff with this, and it is a draw engine for us as well. 4 copies of the Glasspool Mimic enters as a copy of another creature we control, or it comes in as the land. I talked about it being a copy of a crab. It can also be a copy of the Stormcaller for the ETB effect on a Cacophony. You could also go in on your Coralhelm Chronicler for the draw engine, or just play it as the land to trigger the crab if that feels right to you. 4 copies of the Brazen Borrower. This is great because it has petty theft, similar to Into the Roil. Return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand. We also have flash and flying. Brazen Borrower can block only creatures with flying, and it's a 3/1. So typically the petty theft is what we use here, but we can also get in the air beside our 2/2 Drakes that we're creating with all of our kickers. So, we can mill, and we can also put out quite a bit of damage, which is really nice. And then 2 copies of Bala Ged Recovery, sorcery speed for 3, return target card from your graveyard to your hand, and then the Sanctuary enters tapped, triggers the crab, which is fine there. But the recovery, your opponent's going to want to remove your crabs. That's fine. You can grab your crabs back. You will be casting your Cacophony. It goes into the grave, and I believe you can just grab this back. It's not even permanent, so you can grab an instant or sorcery, allowing you to recast your Cacophony multiple times per game, again, without having to go through your whole deck, which is pretty cool. So, just a little bit of everything, no matter what you need, whether it's a crab, whether it's another Cacophony, or maybe you need a bounce spell, so grab your Borrower or Into the Roil to help you survive, right? You never know what you need with the recovery, but typically the main synergy here is with the Cacophony, just to play it, grab it from the grave, play it again, right? And then, of course, 4 Fabled Passages, triggers the crab twice, 7 forests, and 7 islands. I don't even know, do we have pathways for this? We do not have any pathways here. So, you know, that's the land. It's not bad. You can play Evolving Wilds if you want. I don't think you really need to, though. And yeah, deck strategies and synergies have been outlined. Typically, you know, if you want to go big, huge, you get the Split Current out, and then you play your Stormcaller, and then you'll kick your Cacophony for a double half mill, which is pretty fun, right? You know, you can also, you know, pick your Stormcaller and then play your Cacophony. So, you know, copying your Stormcaller that was kicked will give you 2 copies of it, right? So that's 3 copies, plus you copied it, which gives you, you know, that 4th copy. So it's just too much. It's too much value on the Cacophony. So, you know, if you mill them for half their library and then you copy this to trigger 4 times, that's like more than half their library again. So it's very easy to mill your opponent, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's the deck. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to a friend, and, you know, enjoy the video. We'll be back to wrap up with our final thoughts. Playing first, we have a Gecko, which is fun. Golgari tapped. Kind of scary. That means there's lots of removal. And I guess since there's no crab, we just forest out. They're happy with that. Ooh, an Evolving Wilds. Decent. They've got their pretty little bird sleeves on. I like that. Saltai. Mysterious Egg. It's going to be mutating. Interesting. So we'll take our forest here. We can bounce their mutate stack, so not the worst. Go Gecko! They keep saying nice. I'm going to continue with replying thanks. Maya is coming back into session. She says, oh, what's this? I mean, curl up in my little bed of my blue blanket, baby. Don't record me, though. I'm going to turn my back to you. Anyways, we're not distracted, I swear. And, you know, reducing the cost of things is always fun. But I think the draw is better. And now that we do have that engine of Slamation, we can go ahead and copy the Gecko, reducing the cost of our kickers even further. You know, just kind of holding on to Into the Roil. So that's fine. Gonna bounce this egg. Obviously, that's what they want to mutate onto. So they're gonna be looking for Asterix, and we're gonna try to keep that from happening. You know, obviously when it goes to mutate, we'll bounce whatever it's going on to, and then the ability won't trigger. It'll just be the Asterix in play. That'll be their turn, and then we'll rebounce it to their hands, right? Fun stuff like that. You know, it's going to be a bit of a troublesome time, though, to get there. No blocks here, taking our first 3. Typically, you keep the Parcel Beast back, and there's no mana here, but on other turns, it's really good because you can do lots of shenanigans on your end step with draws. So we do have 4, 5 total. To kick this costs 4, 5, 6. So let's go ahead and copy our Gecko. No attacks. And now we can kick our Cacophony and mill 20 odd cards. Hopefully a bunch of Sterixes. No mana up here for the bounce, but no, they do have enough actually. It costs 6, and the Poliwags reduced by 1 each. Plus 4 is Sterix time. A Shore Shark, okay. And they're spreading their threat out, which is smart. That's really good. I guess they bounce our Gecko, right? I mean, they should bounce the original one if they're going to bounce it. That way we don't have a choice of what it enters in. It has to be the Gecko that enters. So looking for a top deck land here. Migratory Greathorn's just great. They're cycling through their deck pretty quickly. Another lands. Parcel Beast doesn't have a mutate ability, which is the downside to that. But they do have the land to tap it if they want for another draw. Typically, they'll do that after they block with it. So that should be our go. Kinda sucks. Like, we really should keep that bounce mana up. And, you know, I guess we can kick this. They love it. They're like, finally a deck that's not running Extinction Event. I can play Mutate. Yes! They're taking the draw here like we talked about. That's fine. Sure, no harm, no foul. Draw here. Thanks. Innocent Symbiote. That's A-okay. And another land for the Scry 1. Again, looking for that Sterix. Has there been any in the grave yet? No. 2 to the bottom. I think they're going to find it, so we're going to be in trouble here sooner rather than later. They take a draw here. They should be waiting till after the block. They're being impatient. Right, they're like, I want more mutate, and I want to mutate right now. That's fine, though. What did they pull? Another Greathorn. That's so good. Let's resolve it. We do have to keep in mind that there will come a time where this Into the Roil screws us. And we should still cast it now. They get a bunch of cards back, but that's okay. We get the draw, and that's the main thing. A land. That's a land that we need, though. It's just kind of sad. So let's toss our Inscription. Casual 4 cards to their hand. So, you know, we should be milling half their library first. But I really want to just kick this, I guess, right? Costs 4, 5, 6. We have 4 plus minus 2. We're taking 15 cards, basically. So we actually don't really gain any value from that. So I'm going to play the crap. We don't need to kick it. I mean, the kick is great, but not needed. Did they even have the Auspicious Sterix? At this point, I don't even know. Let's just come in regularly. And then let's mill them for 16, right? Which is basically what would have happened earlier. Ooh, they have the Apex of Forever. Decent. Very nice. They just get to cast it from the grave. No attacks. Scoot Swarm's been dealt with. I'm sure they have more of that. Another egg. They're down to 14, and we have a crab in play. It's going to be to a point where they might mill themselves, right? They need to deal a lot of damage quite quickly. We can kick Into the Roil. Thank you. That's an 8/8 with trample. A little bit worrisome. Another land for the Scry. 12 cards in library. Goes to the bottom. The mutates are maybe not the greatest idea, right? The reduction in cost of Barakos from the grave is really, really cool. They're casting it for 3. So, you know, to play Barakos, which is a 6/6 with trample for 3, is very, very good. And we do see a mutate here. Another draw. Another discard. Another draw. Another discard. They're thinking about it here. And now another land as well. So they're really doing our job for us with the mutate, thankfully. They get a bunch of life. Another Great Horn. They have no mercy. They're just gonna mill themselves. Maybe they've got Thassa's Oracle in hand? I doubt it. They toss a Scoot Swarm. It would have to be a 1-of in their hand. Great Horn. Another pull down to 6 if there's land left even. They're just gonna try to smash us with a big Barakos, I guess, but we're gonna bounce it. So that's a thing. 2 land left. It's a Shore Shark. Interesting. What do they bounce? Gecko, I guess, maybe? I don't know. That'd be the thing I would bounce. Probably the Gecko. It's the Gecko, bro. They bounced the Crab, which is odd. Makes no difference. That's fine, though. 14-14. You know, nobody's going to complain about that, right? And I could care less about 4 damage, so no blocks. Down to 13. Crab in play. Super duper land. That puts them down to 1. And when do we want to kick this? Later? Kick it for 4, which is really for 2, which leaves us 3. So we can grab this. Right, let's just take a draw for 3, basically. Oh, no, it tapped our land wrong. It tapped our land wrong. They might win there because of that. Actually, no, we can still cast it. We just can't kick it. That's annoying, because we needed the 2 islands out. But I guess we needed an island to tap, I guess? I don't know. I always think of those things. No attacks. Thanks. And turn. Obviously, that was their last draw. They can play it from the mutate. Force them to draw. So this brings something back from the graveyard. Permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. I don't want that to happen. But I guess they'll be able to remutate onto it. Good game. They just can't draw after that, right? So that's pretty cool. Nice little lockout with Simic Kickers. Not your typical mill. We are light on land, but a Crab opening hand. I think we just have to take it, right? We brick. It's gonna suck. Worst case, we just play our Mimic. Obviously, I want to copy the Crab with that. Mill. Oh, we get their Crab. Nice. They do have removal, though, within Fire Prophecy. Do they have another Crab? If we can keep milling their Crabs, that's great. They draw. We get the land, which is good. Into the Roil. Interesting. Let's reduce our kicker and try to get this Cacophony out for half. It's worth it until they're down to 20 or 30. Nice. Tutelage is something I don't have in the deck. Good work. Nice. They get a Crab. End our turn here. Land sucks. We kind of want the land. Passage with no Crab. That's good. Did I see they were playing Temir, or is it just Is It? Just Is It. So taking another red source here. Toss that back. We get the land, which is really nice. Even more mill! And then we actually get to hit for 6, which is decent, down to 12. Again, the self-mill here is not great. Bala Ged Recovery is typically something we like to have. Crab in play. Another island into their insight. Hopefully it's not a passage. They've cracked one of them already. Ooh, that's a good draw. All right. I want to copy it, but I also should just play it as a land here, I think. They're 31. And we're just super milling here. Another 16 on top of 3 from the land, so down to 15. And we still have a massive damage strike coming in. Down to 6, right? So we're seeing a similar equation to rogues. Not as destructive, because there's no real removal. It's all kind of just bounce back to your hand, kind of delay you type interruption or disruption, but you know, we're putting in hard amounts of damage, plus we're milling super duper aggressively, so, you know, I think we could make a case for it. We're down to 33, and we do mill them out next turn, so, woof, right? I don't know really what you say to this. You know, these games don't have to go on very long, but, you know, they end pretty quickly. So, our opponent's trying to balance mill and removal. This is fine. Probably a relatively good strategy, but not good enough. That puts us to 6. We can reduce by 1 more for 7, which would be 5, 6, 7. That won't work. And then 2. Let's just do this. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which we can do, but, you know, we may as well not do it. Oh, we don't have the mana, actually. Anyways, this works, and, you know, that's just going to mill them down to 0, and good game. And we still can have the chance to hit for nearly lethal there. So, you know, big woofs as far as the prospect of this deck looking very good. Alrighty, you know, crab in hand is like meme and worthy. What did you guys think of my meme? Did you see it? Obviously, this will be for the YouTube video. Came out yesterday, I guess. And, you know, hopefully it did well. Who knows? Obviously, I'll know real time right now. But if you've not seen it, watch it. Send it to your friends. It's like not even a minute long. Oh, do I lose my abilities? Nice. Sad. Sad. I mean, we could bounce it, then play our passage, but that's so awkward. Omen, I don't really mind. They're just like ramping, I guess. So they're playing Ugin. Real original, bruh. Real cool stuff. I'm still gonna go for it. Hopefully we get some good stuff. We grab a Thassa, I like it. Let's get the Borrower out. They'll kill it. We might lose our Chronicler here. Actually, no, that'd be the Stormcaller we lose. Take the draw. Take the Drakes because we can play it now. But again, doesn't really do good against Ugin. Losing our Sea Gate, I imagine. Oh, we lose Bala Ged. I guess that's fine. We do have 2 of them, so I thought they'd ignore it. We'll just take our crap back. Type deal, right? And now Mystical Subdual, something that they're going to want to play now, but it's like, well, the crab comes back, so I need to save it for that. We've seen they have removal, so that's not good either. Let's see how it works out. You know, the Incarnation is great. The Deep Dwelling is really good, so we're really worried as it's a utility-based deck. Yeah. Not good, because they can sack this Omen and just start playing creatures. But now with 2 of them, we're not doing anything about that. Oh, it can't discard creature is the thing. That's why we didn't take our... I see. For some reason, I was thinking 2 or less. Jeez. Okay, so Chronicler loses the draw. What was this? Shipwreck Dowser. Interesting. Let's pass our turn and keep the Roost to kick. We lose our graveyard here. Whatever. Bala Ged's gone. We only have 2 copies of it in deck. They took 1 and we used the other. They are down to 56, so, you know, being a Yorion deck is a true test here for us because we have so much work to do, it's not even funny. Luris. Nice. What do they gain access to? The Omens. The Enigmatic Incarnate. Oh, they can't play that, it's not 2 or less, just the Omens. No draw because the Chronicler's dead, but does make a good chump blocker, I guess. Omen for the draw. They have so many cards left, it's like gonna be a hard time. What we need is a kicked Cacophony to get through half of it, and then it's kind of catches us up. We have 5 and it costs 6. So we're getting close. Nice. We might lose a Roost of Drakes. Getting back on 1/1's, you know, not really worth anything. We can put in some damage at least. Ending our turn, we'll cast the Borrower. If we can beat a Yorion deck, I'm happy. That's an 80 card showdown here. Another Omen. My lord. So I doubt they play Ugin, just because they have so many colored permanents. But it is... You know, there's going to be... Polkranos is in here for sure. Like, there's going to be really gross creatures in here. Another land. They actually paid 3 life for that. Interesting. Brings them up to 5. Yorion in play for the big boy bounce. Also the flying block, unless we can bounce it. So we're going to get a 1/1 and lose our other Roost of Drakes. because they're going to bounce the apparition, which is a good play. So a tough spot for us here, definitely. And Yorion's not something we typically want to bounce to anyone's hand. Maybe our own hand, I guess, but that's not an option. I'm gonna make that 1/1 work. It's gonna work it. So we lose our other roost. Fine. Right? Good play. They're, you know, helping us through their deck at least. At this point, I think they've drawn more cards than we've milled. Sadly. Alright, we lose our roost again. Take big scries, big draws. How we come back from this, I never will understand. It's going to be that kicked Cacophony. And then we can throw some crabs out last minute and mill the last few cards, I guess. Right? That's the game plan. It works. We do have 6, so we'll cast this for 4. We can copy the sick kicked spell. That would be fun. Very easy for them to Skyclave Apparition that, though. So, I don't have high hopes, but, you know, it's something. We do need our 7th land as well. Unfortunately. No, it's 6. It's 6. It's 2 and 4. Yeah. So that's all. We just need a... where is it? 9.3% chance to pull the Maddening Cacophony. Nice, and they just burn it. For 1 mana. Woo! That hurts. That's a 6 mana for 1 mana trade-off. Heartbreaking, right? Archetype into the graveyard. They're going to pull out their Enigmatic Incarnation. Or do they pull Thassa? Yeah, it could be either. Incarnation or Thassa, that's their... They take the Incarnation, good for them. They can play it as well. They don't. They copy Yorion. Bounce everything. Good game. Nice. Heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Again, they have milled more than we've milled, which is not good, right? We're just kind of hung up here in no man's land. Our draw engine got shut off immediately. They dealt with our crabs really effectively. Hey, 3/3 is better than nothing. You know, not having enough to block Yorion sucks, but it's annoying, and I hate it. Yeah, down to 42, 41 after this. What'd I do for a crab? Pass our turn. All right, let's see how they finish the match off here. They need to... Oh! Nice. This is so good. I love it. We're looking at a 4-color enchantment deck here. All but red, baby. They sack their blessing to pull a thick creature on their end step. They also just get to start attacking here. We're going to be waiting about 10 minutes for our next top deck of a land. You know, typically we just concede, but we try to showcase cool decks a little bit if they can go fast enough. Let's give it all to them. You can take them all, Billy. They're all yours to have. Alright, that was a pretty lame turn, bro. You hit him with an Ugin on the opposing side. Oh! Alright, hopefully no more of that. In our final matchup today, let's try to bash down with El Crab Cakes here, Crabador. I don't know, what's the best nickname for the crab? Just like, everybody grab a leg is what I like to say. You know, each family of 4. I don't really care about that, is the thing. I want to save this for later as well. Mono white, interesting. So these borrowers are going to be of utmost importance. Ooh. From odd, that's fine. We're bouncing with even. No blocks. Alright, this is going to be a big hit. I'm not looking forward to this. But we can double bounce. Oh, nice. That was not what we wanted. We'll bounce 1. We want to reduce the cost of our kicker. If we pull land, we can kick this and take, you know, a decent chunk. This doesn't have haste. So they got protection from odd and even. This costs more to play, so we'll bounce it. Big damage. Oh my gosh, right? Down to 34. We need to bounce this thing. Let's just go for it. Down to 17. No attacks. This is protection from odd, and this is even, so we can block this unless the token goes over there. We still have to block regardless. I don't know how I'll mill 16 in one turn. If we can, off the top, pull a Sea Gate Stormcaller, we can win this game. If off the top we pull a Sea Gate Stormcaller, we win. That's enough for it to be a decent deck, right? We have the ability to win. That's good. Very, very good. If it was only in our hands, right? I believe, baby. I believe. Maybe they've left. 16. Nice. That was enough to rage quit, I guess. You milled me? I didn't know how much people hated mill. It turns out people are disgusted with mill. I didn't even realize. I thought it was fun. I always had a good time playing mill. It's like, this isn't competitive. This is super lame. But if I can make it work, I feel really proud of myself. And, you know, having them rage quit is even better as far as I'm concerned. I really want to kick this, but we can't guarantee that it goes off like that. I guess we kick it so the gecko goes up. You know, not nearly as impressive. I think we would have been better off just to cast it, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it matters. They're gonzo, anyways. Good game. And, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. Down to 7. We should have kept the borrower up. You know, if we didn't want the gecko counter, which, you know, means nothing because they probably have exile in hand if they didn't quit. We should have cast it for normal, still milled the same amount, and then had petty theft to interact with this Luminarch aspirant, right? I think they're milling us of our time right now, or they're trying to anyways. I remember getting so upset. I would control delete, just cancel everything, walk away from my computer. You know, doesn't really happen anymore because I have to do this for a job full time, right? So we're in it to win it, and you know, I think Kicker Mill performed exceedingly well within the play queue at least. I don't know how it'll handle Mythic, but you know, if we're just making fun decks to crush the play queue, this is one of them. That actually worked out a lot better than I thought it would. Again, deck edits in the comments below. How would you guys improve this deck? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. We're always trying to make new decks that are not typically seen, showcase them to people so we can diversify the meta and at the very least the play queue to make it a friendlier experience. And, you know, the mail is gross. I get it. You hate it. But have you ever seen it like this yet? Let me know in the comments below. And I appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot. Take care. Like the video. Become a YouTube member for exclusive content. And we'll see you soon in the next video.